Welcome back, everybody. We're here on Cab Rugby TV. For a second, I had to think about where we are, but it is all systems go. Renzel Botman is back in studio with us. Renz, last week of warm-ups or friendlies or anything like that, are we ready to go?
I think we were ready to go the first week of training already, Jobs.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to it.
All right. So did you have a chance to see there, Helderberg van der Stel? Your thoughts?
So a little bit. I think, like Brian said, it's a lot of structure the rugby, so you can see the difference between obviously, Super League A and running rugby, where you look at Super C and Super B. So I think it was a good physical fight between the two, and it obviously shows the clubs that Helderberg and Van der Stel is ready to go for the season.
That's it now. The player movement is finished and it's locked down unless you didn't play yet in the year. Is that right?
That's correct. Yes.
All right. So Alistair, are you guys expecting still guys to be joining? Are there players out there who haven't played this year?
Yeah, there are players out there. We're in a bit of a fortunate space with the university.
Yeah.
There's still players that hasn't pitched, that's been with us for a year or two.
Okay.
So they still need to register, but they haven't played at any other club.
Played at any other club.
So that's important.
Okay. So if you played one game at another club before the registration period, that doesn't have an impact. It's only if you played afterwards, right?
So if you played at a club by that cut-off date, that's the club you have to stick to.
Before the cut-off date?
Yeah.
On the
cut-off date.
Or this weekend.
Yeah. So anything from that cut-off date.
After the cut.
After, yeah, not before, after.
If you play at a club anyway, you can't move then. Dave Kagan is the president of Hamilton's Rugby Football Club, folks. Hamilton's has been making some big moves, including some festivals, centenaries. Dave, bring us a little bit up to speed here. What exactly are you guys doing at the moment? Because Renzel Botman's been on the show now for the last couple of weeks, talking about a big, is it a 150-year celebration?
150 years, that's correct, JP. And we've had a week of festivities, in fact, months of festivities, at a huge gala function. And what we really concentrated on, we suddenly realized that while we're doing this, there's some people who actually can't attend them. So we've started a Hammy's Cares Foundation.
Yeah.
And once a month we will go out and actually support people.
You mean people can't attend because they physically are unable to, maybe don't have...
And maybe they don't have the financial means to attend some of these functions.
Okay. So, but just before we go there, just tell us a little bit about these functions. Because we heard about these festivities that you guys have got. It's outside the rugby space. It's not just rugby. No,
not at all. In fact, as I said, the gala function, we had the president, vice president and CEO of SARU there. We had the mayor there. So it was very well attended, and we had John Dobson speaking, which is, of course, always a pleasure.
Yeah.
And that was a huge function. We had 240 people, and at the end of the day, everyone went away happy.
You mentioned Hamilton's Cares or Hammy's Cares. Tell us a little bit more about that now. How does this work? Is this a foundation you guys have started?
It is a foundation, JP. We started it this year when we realized, as I've said, with all the festivities going on, what about other people?
Yeah.
So we're doing one a month. For the month of March, we went to a retirement home and we entertained about 70 people there. I was just scared they wouldn't let me go, but I did get out of there eventually.
Hang on. So just to be clear, you were on this side of the visit, not on that side of the visit.
I made sure that I was on this side of the visit.
Everybody's wondering, what entertainment did you guys do? Are you saying that the first team rugby players went there, they dressed up funny, or was it a different type of entertainment?
No, the way the players are, they dress up funny just normally.
Right.
But at the end of the day, certainly some of the senior players came along, management went along, and by entertaining them, you actually had to sit and talk to the people. And it's amazing how many of them had someone they knew who had played at Hamilton and things like that. So it was most entertaining, and they loved it. Yeah. We left them a lovely rugby ball as a memento. I don't think they're going to use it, but we left that behind with our name inscribed.
So you are part of this as part of the strategy going forward. You say you do one a month. You go to different places and different activities.
Correct, JP. In fact, for the month of for next month, we're going to an orphanage. And then the big one in May month, we're having a clinic, a wellness clinic. Yeah. For 6 hours, there'll be practitioners, there'll be various medical people who'll be able to test your sugar and your blood levels and your just how you're feeling, your blood pressure.
So a lot of a lot of different ways to give back there, Alistair. And I'm sure you would want to jump in here. We talk often about what are your players and what do you do for your club? Because that's the reason the club exists, is what do you do for the community? And what Hamilton's is doing is finding alternative ways to reach out to the community.
It's always great because reaching out to the community gives awareness to the club, it's giving back. And then in that way, you also find people who want to give back to the club.
Yeah.
So it's a twofold thing. But I'm really interested in your wellness there because I need to check my blood pressure and my sugar levels.
Blood pressure. Blood sugar and blood pressure, Dave?
Yes, both.
Right.
We've got him first in line.
Renzo,
Thank you.
So Renzo, what are you having checked? Do you get a discount considering that you're at Hammy's?
I hope I get my 15% discount there.
15% discount. All right, folks, we're going to take a look at some of the games. Yesterday, ladies were playing against St. George's ladies, but one of the ones we want to look at first here is Falsebay ladies up against Rocklands. Let's take a look. Falsebay ladies up against Rocklands ladies there, folks, and big tips hat off to Rocklands ladies. They are pretty much new kids on the block, and well done. Ladies rugby really started to make a name for itself. We will still be taking a look at Eerste Rivier St. George's. Renz, your thoughts there?
Just looking at that game, I think Rocklands, they're looking good. For a team that only started, I think, this year.
Yeah.
And playing against, obviously, the top side of Falsebay, so I think they're going to look good this season.
Yeah. Nice to see the women's rugby active there for both sides, Ali. And maybe this could turn into a derby because they're not so far away from each other.
Yeah, but you know what stood out for me in this clip is the fundamentals of these players. The ability to pass, the evasive running, to step off the 1 foot swerve into space. So clearly the coaches are doing something right.
That is great. Well done to both sides, Falsebay and Rocklands. Like I say, we've got still Eerste Rivier and St. George's coming up after the break. Don't go away.